All right, on this project here, this is the top of a console table. It's 84 inches long. These are the three boards, the 2x6s, and I'm gonna stain them and attach each board to the table and pull them together with the clamps. I'm gonna pull them together with the clamps, and when I get ready to put them, I'll screw them down once I get them tightened up together so the crack will join. They're pretty well jointed. What I'm doing first is I'm putting pre-stain on each one. Get this out of the way. Putting pre-stain on each one, but I'm going to go ahead and stain them before I put them on the table itself. It's easier to do that way. And what I got here underneath these are bench cookies from Rockler. That will go under here to give me some area to stain around them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the pre-stain on here with a rag, and then I will stain them and put them on the table. This is pre-stain from Minwax, oil-based. Just dip it in a rag in there. Just go down the top with it. Doesn't take much. Brings a lot of the highlight in the board, though, as you can see. Brings a lot of the wood grain out. But the main thing is it keeps the stain from blotching up once you put the stain on. Go down the edge. Even though the edges are going to be butted together, are going to be jointed together once I put the top on the table, I still like to stain in between the boards on the sides. That way, if the boards should ever gap just a little bit, which they shouldn't do, it hardly ever do. Even so, you won't see any of the plain board itself. Of course, I do the ends of them. I do also. First thing I stain is the bottom. I don't pre-stain it because you don't really see it, but I go ahead and stain the bottom. That way, if you're for some reason laying on the floor beside the table or you're under the table doing something, you won't see the bare wood. It just always looks good to me when it's stained and pre-stained. When it's stained on the bottom as well on the top. So now I'm fixing to do pre-stain on this one. Then I'll begin to stain them in the Jacobine stain, which is a very popular stain. It's a brownish looking stain. I'll show it to you in just a few minutes. All right, now I got it flipped. The first one's flipped over on its top, and I'm gonna go ahead and stain the bottom. Like I said, I stain both sides. I don't pre-stain the bottom because there's really no need to. I like to stain it so it don't show the bare wood at least. So I'm using Jacobine. This is Minwax Jacobine from Lowe's. One of the most popular colors I use that people request the most of. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and stain the bottom. Then I'll stain the top. Then I'll stain the sides. Don't wait to do the sides last because sometimes when you're staining, it's going to run down the sides, and you want to make sure you get all the excess up. So it's a pretty quick task. It goes pretty fast. Sometimes I use a little chip brush I get from Harbor Freight. If it's like I probably will once I get the boards placed together. I'll run a chip brush in the cracks just to make sure the stain gets down in there real good. Because sometimes with a rag, it don't always get down into the crack of the joints. All right, I'm gonna flip it over onto my bench cookies I got from Rockler there, and it keeps it from sliding. It also sets it up off the table, which I purchased those when I was in Jacksonville, Florida, at a Rockler store there. And now I go with the top. Like I said, I'll do the end and the sides last. Like I said, because sometimes the stain will run down the sides, and you want to make sure you get that excess off. So that's why I do the sides last instead of as I'm doing the top. So as you can see, probably in the video, maybe you can see it, that this goes on a little bit smoother than the bottom because it's got the pre-stain on it. So it goes on a lot smoother and you can see more of the grain, which is again the whole reason for the pre-stain. So I go all the way down the top with it. And even though this is the side that's going to butt up against the middle board, I'm still going to stain it the same way as if I do the top and the bottom. Just in case there's a little crack down the middle, just in case where the seams don't join tightly, which like I said, they usually always do. But I always want to make sure it's fully covered with stain so the bare wood won't show. This will be the outside side, so I'll definitely make sure it gets stained really well. On the outer board, it's going to be on the side of the table. Make sure I get it completely covered. No little dents in the wood or skipped over. what I do is I like to lap it over the board and dry it that way. That way it can, any excess that's on the top or the bottom, either one, will get wiped at the same time. And we won't see any run spots. All right, that's the first board. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and put another coat on it just to make it equally match the bottom shelf and the middle shelf. All right, we got all 3 boards stained. That's the top. I will screw them to the table frame itself. There's the middle shelf and the bottom shelf. So you gotta get another piece to go on that middle there. But that's it, completely stained all the way down the top of 3 sections for this 84-inch long table.